Well, ironically,
Are these scientists bored out of their mind, dude?
Well, the bacteria is one thing, but the fungus, though, dude, is real because the fungus is some real shit, man. It like governs our existence, man. And what do we make antibiotics out of? Fungus, mostly, right? Some of this shit's synthetic, but a lot of it is originally derived through fungus. And fungus has been shown to, they're like an interweb across Earth. They all talk to each other, man. It's crazy. Like, they have found fungi before. They're like 15 miles long, right? Verified. Like, what is that shit, right? And so then you think about eating fungus, eat a mushroom. Some of these mushrooms they sell at the store, they're very healthy for you, lots of vitamins. But then the other mushroom, you dead. Other mushroom, you fucking trip hard, right? And so
you're seeing skinwalkers.
Yeah.
For real, skinwalkers, dude. Who knows? Maybe those cows be eating the mushrooms that hop up from the radiation, like radioactive mushrooms.
Oh, for the people on YouTube who are tuning in right now, we were just discussing shit found in bacteria found in Antarctica, which is what led to the whole shrooms thing. But don't you think that like the people who are going down there and experimenting with like weird shit that they find, they're not thinking about like if they should or if they shouldn't. They're thinking about how they could obtain that for either some type of monetary gain or like experimenting with different bioweapons, or I don't think that a lot of those scientists really think it through.
I don't know, man. That's an interesting question because sometimes I feel like some scientists, like let's just say you're like so obsessed and interested in plants.
I think they're hoping to get something in a medical journal, dude. Every professional scientist is like, what is going to break me through? I got to have some big discovery. And that's why we're digging through,
my PhD.
Fucking monkey shit, hoping to find something. Yeah.
Y'all see that? Shit. It was either the Pfizer or Moderna. They're about to do trials using the same RNA technology to destroy HIV. You see that shit? They're about to start the trials on that shit. That's crazy, man. Like I've been saying all along, this shit is like it's gonna be like a whole revolution of medicine and technology. Like they're gonna tie them together. And I've read some books before where it's like, there's at some point maybe going to be a generation where nobody dies. No one dies anymore,
I've been hearing that for a while. Nobody dies.
Yeah.
Or it's like it's a crazy long life expectancy.
Hella longer than usual, right? Something like that.
200 something years, 180 years.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think you'd get bored though? Do you think that you'd get bored?
Yeah, eventually. But you know what? I think it depends on who you are. I feel like I could always find something to do.
Yeah.
Even if it's playing a fucking video game. Shit.
My grandfather died at 96, 97. And one of the last conversations I had with him, and mentally he was always there. But he told me that he either wanted to die that night or he wanted to be healthy enough to go back to work. But he was just so bored of like he was so bored of slowly dying.
Yeah.
And it was really, really, I don't know. I felt bad for him,
Yeah, that mental part, like you said, like going back to work, like having some responsibility in society has shown to be tied to how long you live too, right? Like it's weird because some people, they die and their mental state is totally fine and they're kind of older and then their body fucks them over, or it's the opposite, right? Maybe your body is fine and then your mental state gets all jacked up. And so, I read a lot about the studies of like the rats and shit. These fools always be doing experiments on rats that we don't hear about. And they basically have reversed aging in rats. right now. It's they figured it out, and some of it is tied to sleep patterns and shit. It's really weird, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, if you can identify a gene in your DNA or whatever it is that says stop aging, and you're 80 years old, but your body is 20 years old, well, your brain still doesn't age the same way. But there's also some people who think that the brain could live for hundreds of years without the body. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that theory.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes sense because it's
Did
not.
did either of you read David Sinclair's book? He does a lot of research on aging, and then there was some group or some scientist that was doing aging on or research on aging, and they were measuring telomeres. And I think it was like in Israel, I think, and they were doing they were experimenting with a lot of oxygen therapy, and I forget how it went, but it was definitely positive news with telomeres like elongating or something during the experiment. It was interesting, you know.
Yeah, that's to a level that I know the telomeres to some extent, but hey, how about this with Skinwalker Ranch? Did you guys see the guy who was on the Skinwalker Ranch for years, and this fool was hospitalized and almost died because his fucking brain like expanded, like his skull expanded and got filled with all this fluid?
Yeah, what did you hear about that? When all I heard him say was he got like this boil, this bump on the back, and then after like 4 days, 5 days, his scalp, he said scalp started to separate from his skull,
Right?
Like it was skinning himself.
It's like just
but like basically split, like it severed itself and started to like peel away from the scalp. That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. So are those symptoms connected to radiation exposure?
I would think that's the logical explanation. Yeah. But the crazy thing is with that same guy, like he's super cautious now and stuff. And then when this whole new expedition happened with this History Channel team, he was all cautious. And then like within the first like week or two, they went out there and this fool got fucked up again. And they had to take him to emergency right away and all this stuff. And it's like, well, why is it that one guy is getting messed up like that, but nobody else is getting messed up like that? Like, it's weird. Like, how do you explain that?
I just wonder if it had to do with his pre-exposure. If like he had already been exposed to it and he goes out again and he starts.
Yeah, he's already been touched.
Yeah, like a predisposition.
Yeah, he's already set. He's already,
he's at risk.
Yeah. Like the people who have what are they calling it? Long COVID. How like 8 months later they still can't like taste fruit, or they still.
I haven't heard that the long-term COVID or whatever.
Yeah, like some people they haven't gotten their taste buds back, and.
But what's crazy about that is some fools get the long-term COVID and they never get sick at all. Like they just get like asymptomatic and they get like the loss of taste or something, right? And then it just lasts for months and months and months. And it's just, I don't know what's going on, man, with all that COVID, but it's kind of ironic to the cows at Skinwalker. I really was intrigued about the cow shit, so I started researching more on that shit. Dude, there's this one cow that on Skinwalker got like, dissected or whatever the fuck. And let's think about, okay, let's just say cow dies somewhere. And then no one does anything, just let the cow carcass sit there. Well, what's gonna happen? Scavengers gonna come. They're going to eat it all up. And that shit's going to be bones before you know it, right? Mm-hmm. However, even after 1 year of this cow sitting there, nothing has ever touched the cow, ever.
What?
You're in the middle of the wilderness, right?
Oh, dude. And coyotes, everything. Just fucking ground varmint would have tore that. Ants. Ants alone, it'll take it like 2, 3 weeks, and it'll almost be gone.
So nothing
It
touched this
sat there for a
carcass.
year.
A year, and they finally were like, we're going to take samples from this. I never saw the results of what happened with the samples, but they did take samples. Like, what the fuck, dude? Why is it that this cow is basically still, imagine a year after a cow sitting on the ground, what it would look like.
But it's decomposing though, right? It's not.
It is, but it's different than like, let's just say your skin and shit. It's going to look a lot different than say if all the scavengers came around, just picked it apart into pieces.
Yeah.
Not that at all. It's just sat there. And it's not like you're somewhere where those kind of creatures don't exist. You're kind of in the wilderness. So that to me is pretty intriguing, because that really indicates, I think, like something is wrong with the body to some extent, where the other creatures know, like, nah, I ain't fucking with that shit,
It's tainted. That shit had bad juju, and the whole fucking all of natural life knew it. That's great.
Except
that's
humans, they're like,
There's some type of weird scent to it, maybe. Weird vibe.
Something that we can't sense, right?
Yeah, well, it was interesting with the episode on Skinwalker with that cow that died, and they measured high amounts of radiation around that cow, super super high, and all their phones were kind of going haywire and shit like that. I don't know if you saw that episode. I forget which episode it was, but
yeah. So I don't know. Did you see the one where there was a rancher that lived kind of like bordering to the property line or something like that? And there's a lot of ranchers out there. It's a very open, like prairie type environment. And this rancher, he had 2 cows get mutilated, kind of similar to the other cows, except for these cows, only the female organs were removed. Both females, 2 cows, nothing was wrong with them. Only the female organs were removed.
And was there an exit wound of like them being removed?
It's like very subtle, like a very but it's like surgical in the sense. It's not like just some Joe Schmo doing it, right?
Like a perfect C-section scar.
Just gone. There's there's no like crazy Halloween scene with blood all over the place. It's just clean as shit. But the rancher also said, and what I saw, this guy seemed to be like pretty regular old rancher guy who whatever, just lives his life, that he seemed to think there was like a imprint on the ground, like some type of circular area with the cows.
I saw that shit.
Yeah. And then they went out there, and sure enough, the grass all fucked up.
He goes, I saw the grass area was laid down like something had been here. And immediately he goes,
spaceship.
So I automatically just say, it's a flying saucer. Like he immediately had it figured out. He's like, I just presume it's a flying saucer.
They just know that shit out there, man. It happens so often. They're like, same old shit, different day,
That was funny.
Hey,
dude, that's crazy. All the shit that happens to that cattle, all the stories, like just one incident would be bananas. Like it's been completely embalmed and there's no sign, like the world-class surgeons couldn't have done it with no evidence like these have. That, and even just one case, and there's multiple cases. The reproductive organs only being removed. A dead carcass outside, anywhere, even if it was in my backyard in the city, 1 year a dead carcass of any kind is going to be gone. Flies can eat a dead carcass in a year.
Maggots.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. So
I gotta look that one up. Do they have any pictures of it?
I'm sure there is.
Online. Yeah. Imagine though if the cows could talk to each other. Imagine the conversations. I
think
like just of paranoia that they're having.
Run for your left, they come for your butthole.
Fuck, they got Steve last night. Fuck.
Yeah, we got to get the fuck. Why are we still here, guys? Why are we still here? There's grass. There's grass everywhere. I hear Iowa nice this time of year. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh wait, there's that fence over there. We could hop it, but
what if they're probably like it's like can I just be a burger already? I just want to fucking be a burger already.
Jesus, the anxiety. You know.
those cows, when they move as a herd, man, and something's going on at that Skinwalker, some shit usually is going on, like with the radiation and all that shit. And you know what I went and looked up some stuff, and what I found was very interesting. We didn't talk about last time was that we talked about the origins of Skinwalker, but what I didn't remember was that so the Ute tribe, as we were describing, goes all the way to the mesa, but they're like on top of the mesa, right? Like they're up there, and then the mesa stops the ridge line, and then it's Skinwalker Ranch, quote unquote. Well, the Navajo tribe, which lived on where the Skinwalker Ranch is currently, they had beef with the other tribe, and the other tribe was trying to like do bad things to them, like enslaving and stuff like that. And they put the Skinwalkers, quote unquote, to curse that land forever. And so to me, it's interesting because if the land was already messed up prior to that, why do we not hear any information about those stories? Right? There was some weird shit going on before that. And if they deliberately put, quote unquote, a curse on the land, then why is it that ever since then, weird shit happens? I find that pretty interesting.
That's crazy, because then, for one, you have to believe in like curses and voodoo and black magic.
Yeah.
And then you got to believe it actually worked.
Right.
Like, that's fucking crazy.
Fucking
and it stayed strong for a couple hundred years. Like, it didn't, like, I could put a bunch of duct tape on the wall. It'll stay there for a while, but like after a while, it's going to peel off because the strength is going to wear off. That fucking curse stayed strong for hundreds of years, man.
Did you guys see the video I sent you today?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Well, it kind of ties into that, right? Because it's a current Ute like tribe member who's up there in the status, and he agrees to do the prayer, right, on the place where they want to drill or something. And then afterwards, he was like, I hope you guys were praying with me too.
Yeah.
Because I'd be here when you're doing this. Right. And then he was like, guess what? When your devices start bugging out, going crazy,
time to go.
That's a sign. Yep. Right. And he's Ute. Right. And so the Navajo are gone from there, but the Ute tribe's still there. And so that is still a thing that they take value in. That's a real thing, right? I don't know. I thought that was
that made me laugh. That made me laugh. They were thanking him. They're like, thank you so much for doing it. He's like, thank me nothing. Y'all should have been praying too.
Yeah, you just stand there.
That was funny.
No, I thought it was interesting though that the I forget the one main guy, the PhD in astrophysics, how he said that that there was a government agency getting in contact with him and wants a meeting to kind of compare notes.
Oh, I didn't see that shit. Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. You just really wonder after all those years what evidence the government has when they have a little bit more money for, not a little bit more money, but a lot more money for all kinds of weird observational gear and equipment. What they found.
Well, that guy that you're describing, I can't remember his name. I think it was Travis, something like that, but he already has like clearances with government to some extent prior to all this, right? And so he is probably a guy that's like that medium in a way, similar to the Blink 182 guy.
Yeah.
Something like that, where like they're a person that just distributes information in a way that is gradual to the people. That's what I kind of think, because they have to know. I'm sure all that Bigelow stuff for 20 years, they have to know something. He bought the property that got from him. It's not like they're like, hey, I heard this place is crazy. I'll buy it from you. No questions asked. They had to ask something.
I wonder how would you use it to your advantage? Let's say you're super wealthy. Why would you buy that property? Like, how could you use that to your advantage?
Maybe not to your advantage, but I think I just kind of wonder, if you have that much money, you have the opportunity to be as curious as you want without any consequences, or you actually have the money. Like, here, we can talk about it. We can send each other videos and all that stuff. But like, if any of us were actually billionaires, we'd be doing this podcast on site on all these locations.
Okay, so we're assuming that. So we could assume that, okay, maybe he wants to get to the bottom of things. What if he has no fucking clue or no interest?
I think he does have interest, though. The videos I've seen with that guy, he'd been there and he's seen shit happen right in front of his face with the other guys. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on right now? Hour later, like, I guess we'll resume our meeting now. We just saw some crazy weird shit. Like, did you see the shit where they finally dug hella?
Yeah.
And it's a big old piece of shit, hella deep, like 20 feet deep, something like that. And they put the tape measure down there, and it's like the magnetic energy is like repelling the metal of the tape measure because it's so magnetic.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and so they literally legit, there's some shit going down there. They have no idea. And who knows, maybe the last one I saw today, I watched little 5-minute things here and there. They were talking about like legit, like, I've heard a lot of theories about ancient species that lived here, and they live in the middle of Earth and stuff. And they're like, maybe that is the thing that makes most sense right now to explain all the things we're experiencing. Like, we can't explain it any other way, and that seems to make more sense than other things. So who really knows? And should you really be fucking with that dirt? Every time someone digs the dirt, dude, some shit fucking goes off, man. It's weird.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say something totally off, like on an end cap. Go ahead.
Oh no, but I think that, like, it's kind of like, why do people still continue with like ghost hunting or Ouija boards or seances? Like, they're curious for themselves. It's not going to be good enough just to see a video of it or to hear something like see some dude who's having some weird fucking skull thing that's separating from his brain. People want to go and experiment and have that experience for themselves, and it's never going to stop. Like, dude, if we were invited there, all 4 of us would be going there right fucking now, dude.
Just wear a helmet.
Just wear a helmet. A cup. Wear a cup.
A cup.
You don't know. Wear a cup.
Dude, my luck, we'd be going out there, like, I'd be going there worried about all this paranormal, just crazy unanswerable shit, and end up getting bit by like a rattlesnake and having to go. It's like typical shit.
Fall, break your legs, some shit.
Yeah.
We're invited there for a solid weekend, right? Friday night through like Sunday evening.
Party.
Are you guys going in there sober? Or are you going in there with like a heavy case of beer and a lot of shrooms?
Oh, I'm getting faded for sure.
Yeah. I don't know if I would go to get drunk. I might go to get high.
Just party it up.
Because that'll like intensify everything. Like, I'll be so much more susceptible to like whoa shit, you know. So if I
Pop
got
some
stoned,
shrooms.
or if I had some shrooms, like I'd be so much more a believer and like thinking something's going on all the time. If I wouldn't want to be drunk because then I wouldn't be.
You'd like fall into a hole, dude, and just
Yeah,
like
exactly. And then, yeah, that's the thing. Like you'd fall into a fucking hole.
oblivion. Hey, there was this one weird shit that I thought I'd say that I saw that they went to one of these homesteads and they're like, this shit is always there's some weird shit going on here, right? So they did an experiment where they conducted the basically the electricity in the soil, right? Is it conductive? Is there conductivity in the soil? And of course, we can go way back to damn it, the famous scientist, which I can't remember his fucking name, Tesla. I couldn't remember it for a second there, but no, he had a big experiment with this same shit, right? But they thought, what the fuck? So then they expected to see like 1/1 millionth to 1/1 trillionth even of an amp of conductivity in the ground. And they ran it from like one spot, like 60 feet, some other spot under the ground. And it was like 3/10, right? So we're talking about like 300 million times more than they expected. And so they're like, what the fuck, right? So like, wait, let's disconnect this. Let's put the thing in a different spot. And the second they do that, this one guy is wearing a lightning detector. So it's like if lightning strikes nearby, that it's like a beeper, almost like a pager on his belt that detects it. Right when they disconnect it, boom, it starts going crazy. And they're like, oh shit, right? Like, what the fuck? So then they disconnect the lines, put in a spot. Every single time they reconnect the line, the lightning thing keeps fucking going off on his belt, dude. Like whatever's going on there is like sending signals to any device, really, and have it goes. I mean, that's pretty nuts, I think.